What's up YouTube? It's Ben, and in this video, I'm gonna talk about, is recruiting a good business to get into in 2023? And why? All right, guys, if you are brand new to the channel, I definitely want you guys to check out some more of this content. So if you enjoy hearing things about recruiting, business, entrepreneurship, anything make money online, investing, real estate, those types of things, you definitely want to subscribe to the channel. You also want to join Recruiter Empire, which is our Facebook group online. You definitely want to hit the link in description and join the Facebook group. 16,000 other recruiters in the group. Love to see you in there. Let's jump right into this video. Okay, guys, so there are many reasons why I evangelize recruiting as the business to get into, literally of all businesses, because of so many reasons, but I'm gonna cap this video to 5 specific reasons that are very important that definitely should pique your interest. Reason number 1, recurring revenue. So recruiting is a business that will generate you recurring revenue, not only from your clients in a sense that you can do repeat and referral business with them, but just the nature of recruiting in general creates recurring revenue because those same clients consistently need to hire, right? So they're always going to want to come back to you so long as you deliver them a good service. It's a service-based business, so therefore it's going to be a recurring revenue-based business, right? They're always going to have that need, and if you always perform well for them, they'll always come back to you. So recurring revenue is something you always want to look for in a business model. Recruiting definitely has it, so therefore you definitely want it, right? You don't want something that's going to be transactional where it's going to be a customer for one time. You want a customer for life, right? So in your business, recruiting has that. Recruiting has the ability to grab a whole bunch of customers in an industry or a niche or a handful of niches and create that recurring revenue stream for you. Okay, so number 2, if that wasn't enough for you, the profit margins in recruiting are very high. So if you're looking for a business where you can have high profit margins, it's recruiting. You are absolutely gonna make a lot of profit, not necessarily a lot of revenue, right? You'll make a ton of revenue, but absolutely your take-home profit is gonna be massive. So hear me out on this one. When you make one placement, that's gonna be about 15 to 30% of that candidate's salary. So let's say they make $100,000 a year and you place that person in a new role, right? You're gonna take on average, let's just say 20%, right in the middle, 20% of that candidate's salary. That right there is $20,000 that goes straight to you, my friend. So that is your profit margin, right? So it is very high. Right off the bat, you're collecting $20,000 if you're placing somebody at a 20% fee and they're making $100,000 a year. Absolutely an average scenario in recruiting. You could do that many times over in 1 month. So let's say you do it 4 or 5 times a month, you can have a $100,000 month. That is nuts, right? So as long as you keep everything else overhead-wise low, which we'll talk about here in a second, you have a very high profit margin. And you want high profit margins because in business, the more you take home, the better, obviously. All right, so the third reason that recruiting is such a great business to start right now is high demand. So you always want to look for a business that has high demand, right? They're always in need, right? So for instance, the food service industry has high demand. People always need to eat, right? The, development business where people build apartment complexes and housing and things like that. That's in high demand. People always need a place to live, right? So with that being said, recruiting is in high demand. People always need jobs and clients, companies always need new talent. They have turnover and they have new departments they're building out. They always need new employees. So this is a business where you're always going to be necessary, right? You're always going to be in need. So the clients will always want you. That demand is always there. So don't worry, right? When people talk about taking a leap, or jumping into the business, by themselves, right? And they're scared about making it work. You've just got to connect with the clients, right? The clients will absolutely eat you up as soon as you show them you can deliver a good service, right? So 100% recruiting is a very in-demand business. It's an in-demand service, should I say, right? And therefore, it's definitely a good business to be in. You don't want to be in a business where it's like a luxury business, right? Like, nah, I don't know. Like, I could give or take that. You know, it's not a necessity, right? But recruiting, right, for a company, that's a necessity. So you're in high demand. You definitely want to be in a business that's high demand. All right, guys. So number 4, and this is honestly one of my favorites, right? So recruiting has no overhead, okay? No overhead, no capital up front. Okay, so for the recruiting business, especially if you're doing direct hire placement, which is exactly what you should be doing when you start in the recruiting business, you have no overhead. Everything I need to do recruiting is right here in front of me, right? Literally a phone and a laptop. Like, that's all that I need, right? So there is no overhead. You don't need to work from a fancy schmancy office. You don't need to lease an office space. You don't need to set up a big overhead operation with tons of employees or anything like that, right? You don't need to have any employees for at least a year or two even until you want to scale. And even then you can hire virtual assistants, right? For very low cost that are offshore that are going to be way cheaper than people in the United States. So with that being said, super low overhead to no overhead and no capital expenditures up front, or very little capital expenditures up front, right? We're talking like $300 a month to get your operation up and running, to send out emails, to set up LinkedIn, right? Just to have, you know, a phone and a laptop. That's it, right? And then literally working from home. You don't need to work from anywhere but your apartment, your house, the beach, like wherever you want to work from. So no overhead, no to low capital expenditures up front, nothing. Literally, that's the type of business that I always want to be in, because that right there is going to be the easiest way to start the business. All right, and that leads me directly into number 5, which is freedom. So this is otherwise known as flexibility and or freedom, or whatever you want to call this piece of the equation. But this business allows you to have so much freedom, right? Aside from other types of businesses, right? So if you're in e-commerce, for example, you need to manage inventory. You need to have like a warehouse, you know, especially if you're in like drop shipping or otherwise, or Amazon FBA, or, you know, things like that, right? Or if you are in the tax business and you need to have a real office for people to show up in person or whatever. Look, recruiting doesn't require any of that, right? The flexibility and the freedom is endless, because you can do things on your terms, on your watch, right? On your time. You don't need to follow anyone's particular schedule. You create your schedule. You dictate your time. That is why I love this business. That is why I tell everyone to get into this business, because no longer do you have a work-life balance where you have to try to balancing act this entire thing out. It's a lifestyle business. So every single day is great because you're doing what you love, right? While just working on the side, right? Handling emails, handling some interviews, but time blocking those things for when you want to do them. So the flexibility and the freedom goes through the roof, right? This is why it's so important for you to actually understand what comes along with this business model, right? It's so much different than any other business you've looked at to try to actually get into. If I need to interview candidates or talk to clients, I get to decide when I want to have those meetings. That's my choice. So I'm actually choosing the hours I want to work, the amount I want to work, right? If I want to take a week off, I can take a week off, right? I don't have to do anything for a week. So it's totally up to me how much I want to put into the business, right? So with that being said, the flexibility and freedom is ultimately what really drew me to recruiting initially. And it should be what draws you to recruiting, because 99% of people want to get out of their 9 to 5 and they want to go to something that gives them freedom. That's what everyone's after, right? You know, it shouldn't be the money, right? It's more so the freedom, because money buys freedom. So getting into a business that'll make you a lot of money with low overhead, high profit margins, and freedom and flexibility, that sounds pretty good to me. And that's why recruiting is the business to get into. Definitely right now, and definitely going forward. All right, guys, I hope those were enough reasons for you to jump into the recruiting business. If they were, I'm gonna drop a link down below in the description of this video for you to book a call with the Empire team to chat with us about our programs, about how to learn to actually start your own recruiting empire, okay? I'm also gonna drop a link to join our Facebook group, Recruiter Empire. We definitely wanna get you in there. I wanna see you in there as our newest member, and I'll see all of you guys next time.